In every generation, there's at least one boogeyman. It is a monster so horrible, so indescribable, that none of the common methods used to squelch devils are deemed sufficient to subdue. Its shadow darkens our halls and triggers an animated fear from the recesses of our minds, a thing so pervasive and altogether frightening that our natural response is to use the necessary means to remove the threat and return to the comforts of normalcy. Or, in our desperation, we hope to flee from the threat altogether. Mankind is capable of some pretty terrible things when it responds out of such a state of perceived crisis. Otherwise deplorable actions are looked upon as necessary evils and sacrifices in the pursuit of public safety and the so-called greater good. Of course, all of the horrors of history have come from a misplaced sense of altruism. No one ever acts in ways that are inconsistent with their beliefs, values, and expectations, and any deleterious actions taken can be justified by a typical ideologue on the grounds that it brought them that much closer to accomplishing their vision. So much the easier if, in the course of our lives, we lay the blame for the ailments of the world at the feet of some poor, ignorant culprit. It becomes so much easier to seek to suppress someone's civil liberties or in their life if you've already decided that they are culpable. In pursuit of the power that enables us to manifest our will, whether for a sense of security or for more ambitious projects, the state appears as an erected construct. In the past, it reared its ugly head under feudalism and monarchy, where governments openly created and maintained class systems occupied by legitimate social and political inequality. Today, under democracy, it hides as a wolf in sheep's clothing. The state's appearance of docility and the myth that any monopolistic organization, of which the state is one, can truly represent all of the people, does not but thinly veil its ravenous appetite. The people are not the state, and the state is not the people. To love society and to adore freedom of association and spontaneous order, then, is to abhor the oppressive vacuum of state power that, like a black hole, swallows all that it touches. Like that ominous oddity in space-time, the state, too, is not inherently moral or immoral. It simply acts in accord to its own nature, a nature that arises out of the darkest, most fearful recesses of our collective psyche. It slips in to quench the thirst of our need for safety, for ourselves and those we love, and it supplants itself as the necessary arbiter for the services that it supplies, services which it assures us would not otherwise be readily available without its intervention. But the state, like any organization, is guided by imperfect human management. When it obtains too much exclusive power, morphing into the metaphorical leviathan, the dangers of mismanagement are enhanced by orders of magnitude. In the grand scheme of things, the beast is lumbering and cumbersome, slow to self-correct because of the lack of market-directed price signals, and unable to satisfy the needs of individuals. Since it seeks to serve a collective status quo average either by voting or through pompous, specialist-guided directives, it can never really serve anyone. The larger the state and the more detached the people are from their governments, the more disequilibrium will come into being. To be coy with the use of wordage here, the behemoth will become rather lopsided. The disenchantment with the political process and the growing alienation from one another, caused partly by the mounting engrossment in global concerns and the gradual erosion of community connectedness, can only lead to conflict. Stability, whereby all of us stand upon a firm platform, will only arise when communities take back some of their power, a reservoir that has been tapped and siphoned off to the bureaucrats and management agencies at diverse levels of government.